Hello everyone and welcome today. My name is Greatman Ayilara and I'm super excited to be on your screen again. If you are a Christian, a Muslim, a seeker, a freelancer, an atheist, whatever it is that you practice, my message is actually for you. And today on this exclusive session, as we open up the week, I would like to talk about the let's say the other religion, because there are people who are of the opinion that every time Greatman is talking, he's always talking against the Christian folks and all that, and he has this bias with them. There are even people who have formulated an hypothesis or a kind of belief that I'm just an agent of the Muslim people who infiltrated the Islamic folks and trying to destroy, who infiltrated the Christian folks trying to disrupt everything. Now, my life is against the ills and the evil that religion do to you as an African person. Now, I will be talking about the whole world maybe much later, but for now, the the evil of religion is actually having its root mostly in Africa, and our people are dying to it. Our development is going down the drain with it. We are becoming more like the dark continent the way they call us. And every single time they say black is for evil, it doesn't mean that you are the one generating the evil, but black is a receptant, or it's actually played a host for most of the evil in the world. And this is stemming from inferiority complex. Now, you guys have actually traded your confidence away for something that is worth nothing. Look at the story of your ancestors. They were trading their children, their women, their men away for mirror, for umbrella, for most of those mundane things that you dare not even think about today. And you are also trying to trade away your future away for most of these people. Now, if you are a Muslim listening to me here right now, calm down and listen. It is not my wish for you to stop being a Muslim person or to dump Islam. It is not my wish for you to suddenly wake up one day and say, okay, I don't want to be called this name and that name again. But it's my wish that whatever it is that you are holding on to, you hold on to that thing with your sense in place. With your sense in place. Now, I was born into a Muslim family. And my Muslim name was Zahid. So if you would write my name many years ago, you would put Zahid in it. So one day I woke up, I wasn't feeling it anymore. Maybe it doesn't sound so nice to me, or I'm not just getting it. So I changed my name from Zahid to Okbayemi. And while in the mosque reading Quran and all that, I started asking questions. You see, when your ability to ask questions is taken away from you, the possibility to truly be human, truly be mortal, truly be divine, and truly be free has been also taken alongside with it. That's why the greatest form of asset that you can ever hold on to in life is your confidence. When you have your confidence in place, you are able to query things and think for yourself. At least that makes you different from the animals. The only difference between you and the animals is the ability for you to be able to think for yourself and also be able to decipher, not because there is one God who loves you more than the animal, or one heaven that you are going to that is spectacular more than the animals. So I started querying things. And you know the reason why most Muslims will never know the truth? It is because the Arabic folks know the weakness of an average African person, because they know that everything that looks foreign looks so spectacular and special to an average African person. So most times they insisted that you must read about Islam using the Arabic language. And listen to me right now. Most of you who are still in Islam today, you are holding on to that religion because 92% of you never went back to read the translation of whatever it is that you have read in the Quran. Why are they not making use of English Korean, Yoruba Korean in most of your mosque. When your sheikh want to preach to you, do the salatu or whatever it is, why are they insisting that it must be read using the Arabic language before they can interpret it to you? And do you know that 92% of what your sheikh are preaching to you or interpreting to you according to what they are reading in the Quran is fallacy. They are just cracking joke and comedy with you. There's something Yoruba people call akawioro, ashawioro, or something, just using something to look or something and use it to interpret something that is in your own mind. So the Korean and Arabic language for your sheikh and your afars and your imam is more like a substance of intoxication that is being used to tell you what is already in their mind. Now, if you tell them to talk to you about the things in the Quran word for word without adding their own ajasa, their own extra exaggeration and all that, you realize that most of the things that you sit down to hear about your Quran and your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pure rubbish. It has nothing to do with you. You will see that. Now, it is easy for revolution and emancipation to happen in Christian religion because people can read for themselves in languages that they can easily just speak out. Imagine a few days ago, few friends of mine who are Yoruba Protestant are protesting that Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther misinterpreted Satan to be Eshu because Eshu happens to be one of the angels of Eledumare, which is God in Yoruba, language, and is the one that sounds like the angel Gabriel for the Christians who goes about distributing messages that Eshu is not a bad person. They were saying Eshu is not Satan. Now, because there is a language of communication that someone can easily just decipher, they are able to now begin to correct the old man that you spew rubbish here. But look at the Quran right now. You are reading it in Arabic language. Most of you cherish it because it is being spoken in Arabic, and most of you are even fidgeting and having these goose pimples because somebody is speaking Arabic to you, but you don't know what they are talking about. It's like the Christian folks when they are speaking in tongue. They believe they are speaking the heavenly language and the devil does not understand what they are saying. And I keep asking them, you yourself that are speaking the language, do you even understand yourself? Are you not easily just mad that you don't understand yourself? I'm doing very good, Ben. Thank you very much. Now, this Arabic language, when I finished the Quran from A to Z, I did the graduation, they call it Wolimat. There is a part of the Quran we will get to, they will tell you to kill fowl. Some they will tell you to cook some things and all of those nonsense things that they brought into it. So I was really worried about, okay, what was it that I graduated from? I don't have a clue. I read from Alif to Yasin and all those things. I don't have understanding of what I read. So I went back to read the meaning of what is it they call Quran. I wanted to know the meaning of the Arabic words that I've read. It was during the time I was reading the Arabic that I began to now know that most of the things that these people are talking about is just pure trash. That's nothing to do with an average African man. And I have Islam to thank for becoming a Christian, because it was in the Quran that I read about the person of Jesus, the person of Mary, and how it was painted as something so very calm and all that. And I try to weigh my option. I'm like, okay, Muhammad is a bit very harsh and violent. Okay, this Jesus is actually very awesome, because I read about Jesus as a prophet, not the God, not the son of anything. As a matter of fact, even in the Bible, when I became a Christian, I was still reading about Jesus, not as a God, but as a prophet. And later, when I became a Sikh, I realized that all of this is nonsense. Okay, if I am fighting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of the Saudi Arabia people, if I'm fighting for Jesus of the Roman Catholic, if I'm fighting for Yeshua of the Jewish people, if I'm fighting for Shango Ogunoya of the Yoruba people, I am still a slave of someone. All of these things are ideas of men. They came together, they found out, okay, how can we rule people? How can we easily just make people believe this is God and all that? And they cook up these bull stories and gave to you, and you made a religion out of it. The other time I was telling people in the Seekers Telegram group, I wrote a poem. I said, I am not a Muslim. I'm not a Christian. I don't know who God is. And I don't know if Satan exists. I don't know heaven. I don't know hell. I'm absolutely just clueless about what is going on. All of these things that you call the essence of my living are just product of my learning. When I was born, I was robbed off of my originality, my curiosity, and my seeking ability. They gathered on the 8th day and then they branded me as they deemed fit. Without my consent, they gave me a name without my consent. I wasn't born as a Christian. I wasn't born as a Muslim. I wasn't born as either Jewish or Yoruba or something. I was just born because people were born. Some people gathered together on the 8th day and they decided to just call me what they feel I should be. And they even threw a party as an induction ceremony to their kind of slavery, which they think is going to be good for me. I'm not aware of this. No one consented me. They look away from my wiring, from my content, and gave me a book. They call it my manual for living in terms of the Bible or the Quran. I was raised with the sole aim to be adulterated. They keep tampering with my originality. When I decided to be born again, in quote, to return back to my state of curiosity, my state of becoming a child, to seek the truth for myself, they said I am a rebel. I'm a victim of my own parents. They are the slaves who do not know better than to give birth to more slaves. So when they give birth to a freedom, it looks very strange and awkward to them. How can you be free when we, your parents, are slaves under religion? They are comfortable with that chain and they think that is what is best for me. And I never want to make my children have the opportunity to write this about myself. I will never rob them of their originality and their ability to be curious and to also seek the truth and to ask questions perpetually. Now, if I talk to you about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam right now, you want to kill me. But in the beginning, it was not so. You knew nothing about all of this. You were just a creature that developed in darkness and came into this world of creativity, and people started dumping their nonsense in you and on you. So what you see is, he is a Christian. I don't like him because he's a Christian. He's a Muslim. I don't want to share my food with her because she's a Muslim. They are not bowing down to my own Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are worshiping their own this and that. Because of that, I will kill them. I will mess their life up. So I look away from you and your ability to be called human being, and then I begin to call you infidel. Because I'm fighting for the one whom I know also created you. Is that not madness of religion? Because when people think I am biased between Islam and Christianity, I just felt like Christianity is a bit more westernized and more having a little bit of education in it. When it comes to myopism and some kind of cage or cave mentality, you can find most of these things in Islam. How do you want me to debate with a religion that doesn't give women their own right? In all forms and all fear, women are like the second-hand human being in the world when it comes to Islam. In the beginning, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the man and your mother called Hawa, did they create them and say they will be your slave? So these women cannot even go about the street the way they want to go about the street. The man has to be the one who dictates for them what to wear, how to wear, and where to go to. Some of them are even deprived of their right to work in the secular world. So in your place of prayer, they cannot even speak a word. You have to even raise up a fence to barricade them as if they are some kind of cage. You're serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you begin to pick up the nonsensical component of this religion called either Islam or Christianity, and you realize that it was not created for you. An African person, a black man, was not made to practice any of these things, because before they brought their religion into this part of the world, your women have right, they have a say. In all your palaces, women are there represented fully with their own right. So somebody will tell you it is an African mentality for a woman not to have a say in society. It is not an African mentality, except you do not know what Africa means. It is a religious mentality, and this religion was brought from the Middle East, either Christianity or Islam. They deprived our women of their right to be able to do what they want to do the way the man will have the chance to several possibilities in life. Are they scared of those women? They do it in such a way that even when it comes to their heaven, a man had to be the God in their heaven, and when they even get to their heaven, a woman had to also be raped in their heaven. So I'm wondering, what is the essence of dying for this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who actually discriminates between what he created? Let's say before you talk to this Allah 5 times a day, you must wash your hand, you must wash your mouth, you must wash your feet, you must wash your face, and all of this. What about your mind? What about your mind? Are you washing it? Are you washing your mind? A religion that gives you so many physical apparatus or prerequisites to follow, but refuse to show you how to be clean from inside out. How to be clean from inside out. So what is the essence of that? So they talk about this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was even instructing people to be forcefully subjected to the religion of Islam. If Allah is so powerful and so magnificent and so omnipotent and is so vast in his creativity level, he should be able to convert whoever he wants to convert by himself. Why did he create some in a region where they are atheists, created some in a region where they are Christians, created you in a region where you can have the opportunity to either be Muslim or whatever it is? Why is he so confused? If he wanted everybody to be Muslim, he would have created every single one of you as a Muslim. If he wanted every one of you to be Christians, he would have created every single one of you as a Christian. He must be so confused for creating you in such a way that you could make your choice for yourself and use some people to force other people to obey what other people have chosen as a way of life. That is where you will know that even the one you call God have no hands in whatever religion that you say you practice, either Christianity, Islam, whatever it is all the institution of man. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to you from the Quran, is telling you that those who do not come to Allah, to bow down to Allah, will die and will rot in Jahannam. In Jahannam. And then you begin to wonder, how wicked can this Allah be for designing some people to be born in a place where they will never be able to have a choice of picking Islam over what they are, either by family background, financial circumstances, or regional location. So when you think very well, you will see that it is an effort towards a futile endeavor. Trying to convert someone to Islam, trying to convert another person to Christianity. Nobody sent you that message. That is not your job. The spirit of life is part of none of this. Part of none of this. And that's why there's not going to be the end of the world, or there's not going to be the time where there will be a one world order. This planet was not created for one person to rule everybody. This atom of rebellion is in all of us. In a single family of 5, they believe different things, they eat in different way. Even twins that were born together, they have different purpose for living. That is why this world is still going around, because of our diversity. Whoever made this planet and the universe never made it for you to be my slave, for me to be your slave, for me to think through your perspective, or for you to think through my perspective. The dynamism and the uniqueness of the world is that everybody can do what they want. And this is what religion is trying to make you do. Religion is trying to put all of you under one perpetual umbrella where you will think like one single person, worship one single person, and live like a zombie. The moment that is achieved, the world will cease to exist. So this Allah suddenly told you that there are promises for you. If you can kill your fellow human being, if you can kill your fellow human being, there are promises for you. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was talking, saying that it is easier and faster for those who achieve death through jihad to enter into paradise than those who die a natural death. I'm going to repeat it. Tell all your sheikh and imam to go and prove me wrong. They are on YouTube shouting my name. I don't see that particular sect or that religion as something worthy of my time. Worthy of my time to debate. So many of the sheikh on the internet, on YouTube, shouting my name, calling me to debate. I don't debate with people. I speak my truth and I move on. Because all of this does not worth an iota of my intelligence. I have life to save. I have truth to speak. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that those who achieve death via jihad are the ones who have the faster and better opportunity to get to paradise without going through Jahannam, which is the fire. And those who enter this fire through a normal death, listen, through a normal death, those who die any other kind of death without fighting jihad, which is the holy war, will be there in Jahannam, still burning. Their flesh is burning, everything is burning. They will be burned to their skeleton, and the only flesh out of their body that will not be burnt is this mark that is always appearing in their head, having prayed and used their head to hit the ground or whatever. So that when the Malaikas come on that day, on the day of reckoning, to call the Muslim faithful out of the fire of Jahannam, they will only be recognized by that mark. And I asked my sheikh, I said, sir, if it is a matter of mark, I can easily just wound myself here and do evil all the days of my life, so that I will be cool enough in hell when the day of judgment comes. Shebina mark. When they see mark, I will go to Al-Jannah. I'll go to Al-Jannah. I can cheat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through that way. And he said, I'm rebellious. And I said, Anakun Laisa. Anakun Laisa. Now, I was trained by a man who is an Afar, who was actually rearing me or training me up to go into full-time jihad. He said, I looked into your star through divination, and I saw that you will be useful against the infidels. Who are the infidels? The Christians. And at that time, my mother was Christian. And I was taken aback in a moment of rapture. And I'm wondering, you're trying to raise me up and train me up to be useful against the infidel. My mother is already a Christian and she's an infidel. If you come between me and my mother, I will come between you and your God. And I began to get enlightened that this religion have no human feeling and no human consideration. Are we murderers here? Told a lot of stories about when person dies, you get to the grave, the next prayer time, the Malaika will come to ask you, where is your kettle for ablution and all of those things. I said, did you people bury me with kettle and tesbih, that one angel will be requesting for tesbih and kettle from me in my grave? And the way it will paint this hell, I said, come. Even the heaven looks so difficult to enter. Too much law. Too much law. So when you commit fornication or adultery now in Islam, and then you want to pray to Allah, all it takes you is to go and bath this bath they call the Janaba. You just go and bath Janaba. When you have this Janaba bath, it means your sin has been taken away. You are now suddenly holy before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm like, now what I go suffer am now, I will keep sleeping around, keep doing what I like. As long as I have access to water, I will keep bathing the bath of Janaba. Doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense to some of my friends, all of my friends back then. Doesn't make sense to me. Because I was thinking, whoever the spirit of life is must also be expecting from mankind to live in such a coexistence that even though he is not affected by what you do with your mortal body, you should be able to live in such a way that your life does not affect the other person negatively. That's somebody's future wife that you are sleeping with. That's somebody's present wife that you are having sex with. So are you talking about Janaba as a means of hurting another person? So when I was still a Muslim, the number of women, virgins, you have access to in Al-Jannah whenever you do jihad is 72. One of their preachers is now saying 100 and something. I think they are increasing the numbers just to stimulate those men to kill themselves. Now I'm saying that this Allah, is it worth dying or 18 for? I'm now telling you that if it's worth dying at 18 for, like the Christian people will not ask their pastors that you say Jesus is coming soon, the end of the world is coming, heaven is at home, but you keep building houses and buying private jet. Why are you young guys who are fighting this jihad not asking your imam who is inducting you into this moment of jihad, the moment of craze, that why are you not sending your own children or you yourself bombing yourself and tearing yourself apart? Because it is good to be among 72 virgins, man. And you know how this 72 virgin issue happened? It happens because they said that even though you have sex with them today, by tomorrow when you wake up, their hymen will have grown back. And it is under compulsion for you to still disvirgin them the second day for the rest of your life. I said, this looks like hell to me. To make love to one woman who is a virgin alive is terrible. Not to mention 72 every single morning. Even if I may seesaw, even if I'm a jackhammer, what happened? I need some rest. That looks like hell to me. And if it's so sweet, they said, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the best of the wine will be present for them in afterlife, which is the paradise. I'm like, are we going to be shacking up there? Is that paradise made for shacking up and sleeping, having orgy? It doesn't even make sense in real life. Why do you think it's going to make sense afterlife? And you want to go and sleep with someone, but your body will have been mutilated, scattered here. Which pennies will you use to make love to a woman afterlife? Which pennies? So this is what you guys want me to keep dwelling on, to be talking about every single time when I come online, when I have more updated things to fight against, more better monster to fight against. When pastors are marketing miracles for people and exchanging their gymnastic movement for money from the poor masses, you want me to be talking about this? Does it make sense to you? This is what people kill themselves for in Islam. Now coronavirus is now here now. And the ISIS, the terrorist organization, are warning their people. The ISIS terrorist organization are warning their people not to go into the land of the Western folks because of coronavirus. And those who are already in the land of the Western folks, who are already afflicted or affected, should not come out of that land. Now, I think you guys want to go to heaven. I thought you guys want to make it to heaven. You need the fastest way to go to heaven. Ordinary coronavirus is scaring both you, the Muslim, and the Christians. Mecca is on standstill. The Pope cannot even meet with people. Where they usually meet is now empty. They can't even walk in their city. They say only water is not even available. Ordinary coronavirus can scare the death out of you. I thought you guys want to die on time. I thought you were killing people so that you can attain 72 virgin. What is the difference if you are infected with coronavirus and you are still killing people? But they said their people should not go into the land of the afflicted people, which are the UK, the Western world, and then those who are already there and are infected should not come out of it. They want to be alive, but they are marketing heaven to you. They are marketing heaven to you. They are marketing heaven to you. So I said, this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is it really worth dying for? Because my own cause is not only against one particular religious sect, but all of this nonsense that we practice in Africa. All of a sudden, whatever it is that your parents are using to call on their God became demonic because Islam came and Christianity also came. Egypt used to be the center of civilization of the world, where there are libraries of so many books that if it was present today, Africa would have been better than where it is. First, it was rampaged by the Christian folks, and then later rampaged by the Muslim folks, and then rampaged by the Roman folks, burning down library of the ancient days, just to make sure they disconnect you from your roots and from yourself. And they invest so many billions of dollars every single year to go and dig up the old civilization of Egypt. You never bother to ask them what they are looking for. So they take away all this ancient technology and then put a little bit of reference on them and brand them up as electronic and whatever, and you have to buy it again in Africa. What left Africa is now being bought in Africa. I tell you, how poor were you before Islam? How poor were you before Christianity? You were having more than enough. Africans used to be the symbol of Buje Budanu, having more than enough. Your children were not dying to epidemic, pandemic before the invasion of these regions. God was not angry with you before these people came into your land. You have solution to every possible future problem before it happens, before these people came into your land. You were flourishing in your land. Things were happening in its season before these people encroached your land. Now they came, now they told you there is a hope for better future. What has been better in Africa right now? Tell me. What is better in Africa? I was talking to a member of my board of trustees today about the program we want to do, the national tour we want to do regarding safe and planned reproduction, which we are beginning to beg people for sponsorship and also donation for. And we were talking about how Nigeria could go into sudden famine and extinction in the nearest future because of lack of knowledge. So this morning when I was releasing that particular message, over 80,000 people have died, according to livepopulation.com. And that morning when I was reading that article, over 75,000 people have died. Over 180 people have been born. So we're comparing what he said. In 1960, the total population of UK is just 52.4 million people. The total population of the whole of UK was 52.4 million people. At that 1960, the total population of the whole of Nigeria was just 45 million. 1960, 45 million people living in Nigeria as at 1960. Fast forward to 2020, the total population of UK is 56 million. 56 million. What is the total population of Nigerians right now? Over 200 million. Look at the gap. The increase of over 55 million people with little resources. Because everybody want to give birth, everybody want to born one. They will be telling you that if you have one child, you are not different from a barren person. Must you give birth to a biological child? What about the one on the street? Is religion teaching you this? When you go to your church, do they compare notes with you? Is this what you guys talk about in your church or your mosque? Doesn't your Islam tell you to keep giving back because Allah knows how to feed them? Has Allah ever fed anybody since you came alive? Yoruba people will say, oúnjẹ tó máa jẹ àtọ̀run ló ti ń gbé wá. Kọ́mọ lanu sọ́run kó wá òbó yóò máa rí nǹkan kan jẹ. You go to this place, they are pressuring you for marriage. You go to that place, they are pressuring you for child. They are good, and you are giving back to these children, and there is no way to this country is not sufficient enough to cater for all these people you are giving back to. But what will your religion say? Your religion will be telling you to be fruitful and multiply. You are multiplying in poverty. You are multiplying in plague. You are multiplying in insecurity and disenfranchisement. So tell me one good reason, one good benefit of religion since you have been alive. So do you go to your church and you compare? No. In India right now, there is an organization that gives people money and better life for signing up to not give birth to their own children because they are getting overpopulated. United Nations forecasted by year 2050, the total population at this rate that we are giving birth, the total population of the planet Earth will be too much for the land space that is here. Do you bother to even go back to compare, not to think intellectually and also to use your brain to get to work, to take your destiny in your hands? Religion will not allow you to do this. In your churches, whenever you have a child, either you can cater for it or not, all their target is to come and do child dedication and special Thanksgiving. And your mosque too. That's the day that your affairs, they cash out. Or just sooner. If the child will be better in life or not, it doesn't concern them. They pressure you to keep multiplying, multiply in poverty, multiply in So I'm saying to you right now, the only reason why they want you to multiply that way is so there will be more poor people in the world and there will be lesser rich people in the world. And those who are rich, they are rich because they are enlightened. And the ones who are enlightened will keep using their knowledge to impoverish the poor. Because even your Bible said, as heaven and earth remains, there will always be what? Poor people in your midst. Is that even a sensible solution? Who will now take the place of this pauper? Is that a sensible solution? You hold on and cling on so much to a certain book that tells you that, come, reality of life is this. Some of you will have to be poor forever, while some will always be rich forever. And you think it's okay? You think it's okay? Because religion wants to condition your mind to a place of deceit. Religion always configure and condition your mind to a place of defeat. So you do not see anything wrong in poverty anymore. You don't see anything wrong in all of these things that is going on in the world. So when you have children, you have excess children, you cannot take care of them. Some of them, out of frustration, will now go and enroll for the school of jihadism and begin to kill each other, becoming animals, hoping to get to heaven, to go and have sex with 72 people. A man rather, who is polygamous already on earth, would you sell the idea of a 72 virgin hell for heaven for that person and he'll go? He's having more than enough sex here. Sex is not his problem. I realize that what your problem is in life is what you think heaven is all about. Yes. Whatever a man's problem is in life is what he wants to go and enjoy in heaven. If he lacks money on earth, he will think heaven is made of money. If his passion is about wealth and riches and gold, he will think he's going to heaven that the street is made of gold. The kind of heaven you have been sold so far, don't you know that only pathetic, depressed, and sad people can write that kind of heaven? They have lost it in life. They have beaten them. They have imprisoned them. They have been disenfranchised. All of those apostles describing heaven to you, they were dejected, they were molested. And what happens to someone who is molested but is not dying? They console themselves. They will console themselves now. So they will keep saying, this world is not my own, I am just passing by. Those who are rich and are making it in life, they don't sing that kind of stupid song. Yes, I'm telling you. Those who are making sense with their life, people who are enjoying life and making meaning with life, they don't sing that the world is not their own, they are just passing by. You will stay with your property and enjoy it. Why is your pastor not singing that song now? Only those who are depressed and are looking for consolation, a fantasy kind of life that they cannot achieve with their own responsible mindset on earth, think about the kind of heaven you have been sold, both in Islam and Christianity. So me, that I can talk to a lady and she will say yes to me, that I can have sex when I want to have sex and choose to keep my body when I want to keep my body, is it me you will be marketing heaven of 72 virgins too? Me that even alive, I don't like to near virgins. You will now be telling me to go to one heaven where there are virgins. I surely know that I'm going to a wrong place. I know I'm going to a wrong place. So you say your heaven is filled up with mansion. Because you are gunning for a mansion. You are ready to backbite, gossip your friends, mess the life of people up. You give back to children. You are not willing to pay their hospital, their tuition fee, feed them well, but you are willing to take 10% of your money and all your salary as first fruit to one church because you want to build a mansion in heaven. Are you going to market heaven that is filled with mansion to someone like Bill Gates or $10? Because they already live in a mansion here. And I tell you Africans, your heaven is only made up of your fantasy. Fantasy, the things you are not able to achieve in life, that is what heaven looks like to you. Isn't that what men say? Maybe the ones that are having sex for the first time, they say the woman's vagina looks like heaven because they don't have it in their body. Whatever you lack is heaven to you in another person. And your idea of hell is always the hatred and the kind of judgment you want the other person to face. For not thinking like you think, behaving like you behave, and living like you live. Simply because someone is different from you, they deserve to go to hell. Muslim people, I ask you, what is the offense of the Christian folks to warrant going to hell? Only because they don't serve your Allah right? That's all. If the moment they jump fence and they come to your Allah, automatically, even they are doing evil, they will still go to Al-Jannah, right? Ṣé o rí pé kò sórí pípé ń bẹ̀? Ẹ̀yin náà gbà yẹ̀ wò. Kì í ṣe oyin mọ́mọ́. It's not a news. If you can think between the lines, you will realize that all of this is foolishness. So Christian folks, I'm asking you right now, the reason why you are praying for your Muslim family is because of what? Because they don't come to say, praise the Lord, single, or shout the name of your Jesus. The moment they leave their mosque and they jump into your church, they are heavenly fitted. Is that not? Even if their life is haywire. So you people begin to tell each other, let us wash our dirty linear in the secret. Your dirty linear is now stinking. Will you also cover the scent or the smell into the secret? So this Allah, is it worth killing people for? Is it worth dying for? Bringing it home to Nigeria, do you know there's a difference between a Yoruba or Igbo Muslim and Hausa Muslim? Do you know there's a difference between them? Because to an extent, a Yoruba Muslim can still tolerate, okay, I'm a Yoruba, I'm a Muslim, my wife can be Christian, my children can be this and all that. So when the fight break out in the north, I'm also still an infidel. Because what? By reason of affiliation, I have an infidel in my network. Do you get the logic now? In the northern part of Nigeria, if you are a Yoruba and you are a Muslim, and there is a war between Muslim and Christian, they will still kill you who is a Yoruba Muslim or Igbo Muslim. Why? Because they believe that Yoruba Muslim, Igbo Muslims are not true Muslims because they can permit other people to worship their own God in their different way under their roof. So by reason of affiliation, you are still an infidel. And you will say those people are wicked. Those people, will you shut up? Christians, will you shut up? Is it not in your own Bible too that you should not be unequally yoked with who? With an unbeliever. So if there's a brother among you who is vibrant in church but decided to go and marry a Muslim, you will demote the person and suspend them now. By reason of marriage, they have offended God. Okay, now tell me, if you are the one who is God, how would you feel about these creatures of yours who are living a life of groping in darkness? Disappointed, right? Because you were never part of it. So I'm telling you, if God or the Spirit of life is in charge of religion, it would have done two things. One is to create everybody with the same religion. If he's in charge and so interested in religion, he would have created everybody with the same religion. He won't create some to choose one and other to choose another thing, either by the reason of birth, location, whatever it is, and then choose one to be killing the other, whom he knows that because the way they were born, the family they were born into, they don't even have a choice. How can you expect someone living in North Korea to be a Christian? They have to be atheist because that's where they were born. People born into Saudi family, royal family, will never have a choice of becoming a Christian. They have to be Muslims. So you are saying there is a God in heaven who is just and truthful and merciful, who is in charge of your religion, but he chose other people to be born into another kind of religion so that he can use people of other religion to come and kill people of this religion so that he can show his own supremacy. Is that not madness? So the Christian will want to jump into this line and say, only Muslims do that. They are so biopic and all that. No! Your own God in the Bible said that he intentionally made the heart of Pharaoh so strong so that he can destroy him. What kind of a God is that? A God who intentionally cast a spell of someone and expect that person to also have charge of his mind. That's nonsense. Does that look very sensible to you? It doesn't look sensible to me. And before you begin to shout, thank God, that's why Jesus died for me. He didn't die for you. He said he was sent to the people of the house of Israel. Are you an Israelite? I'm asking you now. Is that not what he said? He said he was sent to the lost sheep of where? Of Israel. He wasn't sent to you. Jesus is not your prophet. He has no business with you. He wasn't thinking of you when he was here. Even though he was here at all. If he was there at all. Are you an Israelite? So somebody will say, I'm a spiritual Israelite. Spiritual Israelite, call. Spiritual Yemenist. When you have lost your confidence and your right to be a human, you begin to spiritualize everything. So I speak to you right now. Religion, Islam, Christianity, whatever it is, which one is worth dying for? Do you still think God or the Spirit of life is behind all of this? To you as an African, how does it relate to your own progress, effectiveness, and maximization of purpose in life? All of this religion. Now I leave you with that question. I am a seeker. If you want to also be a seeker, you can join us on our Telegram group. Just download the Telegram app, search for 1 million seekers. 1 million seekers. This is how you think when you become a seeker. It's not a religious organization. It has nothing to do with spiritual exchanging of sort. No. I'm not going to lay hands on you. I'm just going to teach you what I know, and you are going to be able to have the mind to think for yourself. Then the moment you receive your self-confidence back, the reward that follows it is that you become human again, you become mortal again, you become divine again, and you become truly free again. But don't you forget that you are the light of the world. Everywhere you go to, bring illumination to darkness. As a seeker, that's what we do. You are the salt of the world. Wherever you get to, bring preservation to their decaying situation. And you are the very word of life. Everything that comes out of your mouth, if it's not going to encourage people, put them in their place, teach them the truth, you can just as well keep your mouth shut. And don't you forget that how the world will know you are a seeker is through the goods you do for humanity. Because when you serve what I create, that is when you serve me also. If you serve the human that the Spirit of life made, you are serving the Spirit of life. Is it water you have? Share with those who are thirsty. Is it clothes you have? Share with those who are naked. Do you have more than 2 houses? Put some in the one instead of them sleeping on that bridge. Do you have some money to send children to school? Why don't you go ahead and then give them education? A child you train today will defend you tomorrow. But a child you look away from will bring gun to your house and knock it down tomorrow. Is the truth you have discovered in life? Share with people. Whatever means of service you can render to humanity. Let's just make this world a better place. And when you are doing this, don't do it because you are doing it to enter heaven or hell. Do it because you are sent, and this is what it requires of you. It is requested of you. And the meaning of the planet where you're staying is called Earth because it exists on giving and taking. What are you giving out today? Namaste.